Oh, there you are. I lost you there for a minute. It's just my shit. I used to work for a guy that I had a boss. I used to work for a maintenance company. We managed. I used to go into people's apartments, like Section 8 and lower income families, and then there were higher end apartments and condos and stuff. And you were like a 24-hour on call every other weekend type of deal. It kind of sucked, but
So like a leaky faucet, fucking clogged toilet.
clogged toilets, whatever, no heat, which I was pretty good at. I was like a jack of all trades, so I was pretty good at that stuff. My grandfather's plumbing background, but fucking the guy that I worked for, he used to have his office upstairs, and once the company started to grow more, you kind of see him not necessarily tighten up the screws, but he like doesn't trust, like he didn't trust any of us, you know what I mean? So he had this really nice office upstairs, and then down in the basement was all the supplies like extra, new plugs and switches and light bulbs and toilet tank rebuild accessories, wax rings. He put an office downstairs, and it was all glass, so he could see everything we were taking. You know what I mean? Like, because it was just just right, sign it out. Like you had an inventory list, you checked off what you took, you turned it in, whatever. But that wasn't enough. He's like, I want to see, like, I feel like dudes are putting switches in their pockets and stuff. You know what I mean?
Somebody stole too many toilet rings.
Yeah. Well, I ended up, the joke was on him, because when he let me go, which, I've told the story 1,000 times, but when he let me go, he was not a very good split, so I just got in my truck and took off. I was just like, whatever, you asshole. You know what I mean? I worked my ass off for that dude, and for the way he treated me was just not right. You know what I mean? And I got, like, I still, to this day, I still have 2 boxes of almond colored plugs and light switches in my shop. I mean, I'll never use them for anything, but if anybody ever needs a switch, I got one. Everyone knows who you are. You're Chris. Lamborghinis is I like to call you. We still call you that. But from windowcleaner.com, and one thing I feel like you always get when you come on the podcast, there's always the standard banter and, like, hey man, how's WCR doing? It's the best, right? And, that same old type of shit, you know what I mean? But I would like to know more about the humble beginnings, because it wasn't always champagne dreams and limousines, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? You guys kind of started from, you and your brother kind of started from what I understand, just about nothing, and build it into what you guys got going on today, which you don't have to say this, but I'm going to say it. I would probably say probably the best window cleaning supply and information distributor in the United States right now. I don't know if anybody does it better. You know what I mean? That's just my opinion. I'm a paid shill, so
I couldn't agree with you more.
Right? Yeah. Well, it's no secret that you and I, when our first interactions with each other, were not good interactions. You as a person, as a dude, as a human, won me over. You told me one day while I was hollering at you on the phone, I was sitting in the subway parking lot, and you're like, dude, I really feel like if you and I lived in the same neighborhood, we would be friends. And we had never had a conversation before that. This is just based off maybe my internet presence, and you're pretty good at reading people, and you were right, man. I consider you one of my close friends. You know what I mean? Like, you're a good dude. So I feel I have no shame in saying that you guys do really well, because you guys actually do really well. I mean, that's a given, what you do for the community and all that stuff. But I feel like maybe sometimes that overshines where you came from, and that's kind of what I wanted to do with this, is kind of like how it got started and some of the obstacles, some of the kickback. If you'd like to discuss any of that,
Sure.
the next, whatever, how long, 45 minutes, hour, whatever the hell we're doing here, But
yeah, I got plenty of time. Yeah, we'll get into it. Yeah, man, I knew just from like watching you interact online. I was like, oh my god, I got a lot in common with this guy. Like I could just tell, like you're like a person from around here. Like I just knew that if you were around here, we'd be hanging out.
Right. So this wasn't. I mean, no one goes in. No one like graduates high school and is like, dude, I'm going to be a window cleaner. Nobody. Nobody does that. And not only does nobody do that, but that's not something I ever in my life, before I was introduced to window cleaning, had ever come across or even seen someone doing, for that matter. I was into my mid-20s before I even discovered window cleaning. Like, people pay you to do this at their house? You know what I mean? Like, I'm a middle-class kid. My grandfather worked in a factory. You know what I mean? So I wasn't even, like, lower middle class, to be quite honest. You know what I mean? So we grew up in a residential neighborhood. Is that kind of like how things started for you and Alex? And now you have a brother and a sister, or a brother and two sisters?
No, I got a brother and one sister.
Okay.
Yeah, very, very similar areas. Like your neighborhood looks like the neighborhoods around here. I didn't know window clean. Like I legit didn't know window cleaning was a thing until I saw an ad in the newspaper. I was like 23 probably, indicating that they were hiring for a window cleaning position. I was like, man, people pay for this? I had no clue. And then I guess, I remembered seeing a window cleaner here or there or whatever. So yeah, I worked as a window cleaner for like a month, ended up getting fired. Told the story before. Started, but I really liked the work, because you could see all these like expensive homes and seemed like you could sort of create your own schedule. So I was like, all right, well, I'm fired, but I still want to do this. So I grabbed like $90 worth of tools, an old ladder my old man had on the side of the house, made some flyers, put them out, and I was in business. And Alex was still in high school at that time. He was like 15 or 16. So I got my mom to have him help me on the weekends and stuff like that. And his first job was like 6/6 True Divide. Storm windows.
Brutal. Brutal. That is so mean. That isn't like, come help me on the weekend. That's like, here, I want to torture you.
How are you taking any job you can get? You try to get a little cash flow,
Right. I gotta say, the first couple of times I did some storm windows or some old True Divide windows, light divided windows, I'm just like, this has got to be the worst thing I've ever done in my entire life. However, when you're just starting out, it's kind of hard to turn away jobs. You know what I mean? You gotta cut your teeth somehow. So I can definitely see that. Give me the money. And that kind of, that little $90 tool set did that grow into all county window cleaning? Is that what that grew into? Really?
Yeah.
So that company that you eventually ended up selling, that you started that with $90 worth of tools.
$90 and a free ladder, yeah.
So is it fair to say that windowcleaner.com was started with $90 worth of window cleaning tools? That's fair to say, right?
100%, because we never really got any loans or anything like that for equipment. So that was like in 2000, basically, where I started the window cleaning business, and then WCR, which grew into windowcleaner.com, started in late 2007 and started it the same way. It was bootstrapped, we got $1,000 and we bought some scrapers and resold them, and then just tried to keep rolling that money into more products. Wow. But yeah, man, like what we started, like what you see windowcleaner.com now as, I was like, oh man, it's going to look like that in 2008. We'll get there in 1 year. I thought it would be so easy.
Right.
And this business sucks, dude. It's so hard. Like, I didn't take a paycheck for 6-7 years. Like, I did it for free for a long time. And it really took like 10 hard years of working like every day to kind of get it to what it is now.
I think that's, that's pretty much par for the course in this industry. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? It's pretty much par for the course. Not a lot of people could pull that off. So I guess that says something about your character, you and your brother's character. You know what I mean? You guys didn't give up on it. You know what I mean? Because like I said, $90 worth of tools has led to this. How crazy is that?
It's pretty cool.
I mean,
yeah, I felt like giving up a lot of times over the years, but I never really came close to giving up. We've come close to going out of business multiple times back in the day, and it was always just like, all right, we got to figure this out, make it or break it,
right.
you know, like figuring stuff out. I'm kind of thankful looking back it was so hard, because I know like there's just not going to be a lot of new people rolling into the market because it's just so brutally hard. Like, think about how hard it would be to kind of get some kind of recognition and start selling stuff. You know the industry, like, it would be hard.
Because I mean, even still to this day, I struggle with that. With I mean, outside of the SqueegeeLife towels, you know what I mean. It's not like you know what I mean. Like, people really don't know what we're doing and how we're doing it or anything like that. It's tough, you know what I mean? And what little bit of loyalty you get is nice, but it's definitely, I mean, even a window cleaning company, just a business, is difficult. That's hard enough, you know what I mean? And then try to make your own, not necessarily, I mean, in your case, I would be a living, but in my case, you know, just a recognition. That's not hard to do in this industry because it's so small, it's finite, and you know, not everybody not everyone is, you know, focused on the same things in life, you know what I mean? So there's going to be differing opinions on a lot of things, you know what I'm saying? So
yeah, man.
So I'm only going to buy from this guy because that's my guy, you know what I mean? And it doesn't matter if he's cheaper or not, you know. That some people are just blind to that. So there's just some people you're not going to win over. This guy's cheaper than you are. You know what I mean? Well, sorry, man. But we are going to ship it to you in a couple of days. We're always going to be here if you got a problem with it. We're going to honor every product we sell. You know what I mean? We're not going to fight you about it. We're not going to argue with you about it. Just like, you know, hey, man. I've noticed, especially, you know, as I've gotten to know you and, you know, in what I know of Alex, you guys are really, like, you know, even keel about stuff. You don't normally, and we're going to get to it. Now, that wasn't always the case.
No.
You guys were, I mean, at one time you guys were a little more combative. I wouldn't say combative, but more apt to be like, yo, dude, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. You know what I mean? Like, and now, and that's something that I've tried so hard to absorb off of you, is you are like it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Like, I try to get that I try to keep that in there's like a little voice in my head, and it's Chris, it's you. At times that's just like, it doesn't matter. None of this matters. That message that you sent me on Facebook, that voice message, I actually saved that on my computer. It doesn't matter. Nothing matters. Nothing. It just, you're right. You know, everything's gonna keep going. It doesn't matter. All that energy and time you spend arguing with people it doesn't change anything. You're not gonna change somebody arguing with them on the internet or trying to make them like you. It's never going to happen. You just got to do you. You know what I mean? I don't think a lot of people, and I think, you know, people may have one opinion on things, but the fact of the matter is what we do as SqueegeeLife, it wouldn't be what it is right now if it wasn't for you. And I mean that by, you are always telling all of us, you know, like, you guys should do what you're doing. Don't ever be afraid not to be yourself. Just be yourself. You know what I mean? And who gives a shit? We've maintained that, and I feel like the show and SqueegeeLife and everything is just, it is what it is because of that. You know what I mean? Like, you were like, you know, because there's a couple times we were all like, man, dude, you know what I mean? Like, and it's not worth it. It doesn't matter, man. You got to do what you would. Yeah, you can't fake it. You cannot fake it. And you guys don't.
You'd hate yourself for it. You'd be like so bummed out you were doing this thing that did not feel authentic. Right.
So you can feel that, and what I was getting to is you can feel that the authentic. It's just very authentic. You know what I mean? What you guys are doing. It's not a bunch of bullshit. It's just like, here's what it is. This is what we're gonna do, and you follow through with it. There's no caveat there at all. It is what it is. You know what I mean? You know, and I gotta say I appreciate that about you guys. Now,
keep in mind, though, we spent 10 years fighting with people.
Right? Yeah,
it's finally like in the past 5 years where I like said to myself, like, even if I win this argument with this guy online, I've really lost already. Like I have, because I got so pissed off about nothing. I looked probably stupid to thousands of people for fighting with this guy about something trivial. Like I lost, even if I feel like I won. So like I just gotta cut all that out.
Yeah, because it's all mental, man. You know, it's just a little bit of a mental hiccup you got. It's your own character flaw that it's making you do what you're doing right now. Because it's not gonna change anything if he concedes. You know what I mean? And that's all you want him to do is concede, right. Or her, or them, they, you know, whatever, you know, non-binary, whatever it is. They're never gonna. You just want them to concede. So that's like a power trip, kind of. You know what I mean? You just, you know, I got to be right.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
and then even if I totally won that, the universe would crush me in some other way.
Yes. It's got that little fail safe in there where it's definitely going to shit on you eventually. You think you got it figured out, it's going to shit on you eventually. So what's the point?
100%.
What's the point? Why? That's why I try to. It's hard to do on the internet because people are such twats, but I've found that the best thing to do is just to avoid the internet. You know what I mean? That's the best way. But as far as like general in life with people, dealing with people, that's the way I just, you know, karma, man. I just try to be nice to people, you know, be helpful if I can be helpful with people, and keep it moving. You know what I mean? Like try not to be a big shithead, you know, because it's, you know.
It's a lot easier in real life because, like, oh, I'm talking to another human. It's not like, hello, screen, screw you.
Yeah. This guy's never going to see me. Watch what I say to him.
Watch this.
There's going to be no consequences to what I'm getting ready to say. This is going to be sweet. What are they going to do? Ban me? You know, life goes on. Yeah. Now, what led up to, or what decision, what happened that you were like, you know what, dude? I mean, I know you weren't on the glass anymore at the point where you were getting ready to, you know, sell window cleaning supplies. But it's not like you weren't doing well. I mean, I'm sure you were doing pretty good for yourself. I mean, it's one of the biggest companies in the area, wasn't it, at the time, correct?
Yeah, it was doing really good financially. I hated it though. It was like killing me mentally. Like I look at it like, everybody in their life has 2 problems a week. And if I'm trying to manage 50, 20-something-year-olds that all lie to me all day and get high on lunch break, I'm dealing with 100 problems a week. And they're ridiculous problems because I'm dealing with this army of 20-somethings. And like that, I'm a 20-something and I don't want to be, you know?
Yeah. I totally feel that. I don't know. I mean, I can't speak to that. I've only ever managed people, like in other jobs, you know, like in telling people what to do. You know what I mean? I've never had people work for me, you know, but you know what I'm saying? I don't know how I would do that. Now I have family members, my daughter, wife, they come, they work, whatever. That's one thing, but like a stranger, like I'm not exactly I don't know how much patience I would have for someone I don't know. Yeah. It's, you know, so, I mean, that's a lot of stress, you know what I mean? Because you can't be like, you know, the ultimate just like zero, like down that you're an asshole, out of here. You can't, you know, you got to maintain some level of, you know, because if you don't, then you're going to have to go out and do that shit now. You know what I mean? Like, now I got to go do this because I just fired this guy for being a dipshit. You know what I mean? Like, he didn't say the right thing. You know what I mean? He didn't do the right thing. Yeah.
Just, like, constant problems. And there's this, like, thing that in the window cleaning industry that I guess, like, a lot of people don't know, or they come to realize that when they're trying to build these companies, I think like a window cleaning business can be great up until like 7 employees. I think that's like a pretty sweet spot. But more than that, it enters this stage where you can't pay them enough. You would have to charge so much more to pay them fairly. So you're either you're either going to have to like rip off your customers, or you're going to have to rip off your employees by paying them too little. The maths do not scale. They simply don't, because of the low barrier of entry into the window cleaning industry.
Right.
And that's like a real like unspoken problem.
I think, yeah, I don't know. I think there's a lot of people, there's a lot of discussion about how to run a window cleaning. But I mean, you already know where I'm going with that.
Yeah.
I think that part of the game gets skipped over, because you're right. So, you don't have to go to school to get a degree to do this. You can go and buy some tools. All you have to do is have the mindset to get up, get out, do it, and pay attention to detail. That's all you got to do. You know what I mean? $100 you could be doing this. You know what I mean? $90 worth of tools. 20 years later, you could be selling window cleaning supplies on the internet, and I could be interviewing you. You know what I mean? Like that should be your goal in life.
Full circle.
Yeah.
But that's a real thing. So like you're
it's hard to pay people what they're worth. Once you get to a certain point, it's really difficult. You know what I mean? Then you have to figure out ways to make it profitable or a worthwhile profession for dudes to stick around. You know, like you got to give them things like incentive to be here. You know what I mean? Like, I can only pay this dude so much money, so maybe what I'll do is like any job that he gets, I'll give him a percentage of. You know what I mean? And then, then it turns into, I mean, that can become a monster. You know what I mean? Like, you gotta, that's a lot to manage. And especially at that scale, I'm sure you were probably like one of the, I'm out of here, dude. I don't want to deal with this shit no more. I'm going on vacation. Don't talk to me.
Suck, but I also felt like I could never go on vacation or do anything because I felt like something was going to go wrong all the time. Like, I was young too. Like, I wasn't really mentally equipped to deal with it on that scale. Like, it got out of hand. We had a lot of college kids, which was good because it kind of solved that problem I was talking about. They weren't looking for full-time careers, but they also didn't want to get fired because they wanted to squirrel a bunch of money, away before they went back. So that kind of worked out for us. But products sitting on a shelf is a much better deal for me now because the products don't lie or call out sick or do weird things.
They're just there, man.
They're just there.
So that's what I was trying to get to. I know we're going to keep doing this, going off on a tangent, because that's just how you and I speak to each other. It starts out as one thing and turns into something completely different by the end of it. But how did that transition happen where you were like, screw it, I'm done dealing with this shit. I can't deal with all this bullshit anymore. I don't like doing it. I don't like managing these people like this. It's just too much of a headache. Let's sell window cleaning tools. Why window cleaning tools? What made you were like, you know what? I mean, because honestly, you could have done just after the sale of that company, which I'm sure, I'm not saying you guys are millionaires or anything like that, but, I'm sure there was enough money there left over to do pretty much just about anything you wanted to do. Why was it window cleaning supplies?
Well, we did them both simultaneously for 4 years.
Okay.
The window cleaning company kept going as the supply company was starting.
Smart.
But basically, it all came from two things. There was this window cleaning message board called World Mail. Mm-hmm. You may remember Gary Mapper. He was a tough moderator. Yeah. And we would get on there and bust balls, and he didn't like ball busting. So we said to each other, man, we should start an internet forum. Then we could just do whatever. And we're like, all right. And then coincidentally, that same week, we went to a seminar at Racenstein. And Racenstein, the people that own it now, they're nice people. But they had just bought it from these other guys who had been running it for 100 years. We went to the seminar and sat there and listened to them talk for 4 hours. And we left there and looked at each other and we're like, dude, these guys don't know anything about window cleaning. We know way more than them.
Right.
We should be doing this.
Right, of course. Of course, we are the smartest guys here. These dudes suck.
So let's take a forum and combine it with a supply thing and we'll help people. And the whole idea, because that's we had the second channel in YouTube for window cleaning. We're we'll just make a video for every product because no one was doing it at that time. And let's just marry a forum, community with a store and videos and like make this new thing.
I mean, and dude, holy fucking shit. It is exactly that.
Yeah.
It is exactly that. Dude, I'm not trying to be like, I'm not, everybody's going to be like, oh my God, dude, you got to stop. But honestly, though, like everything that's happening right now, like popping in and happening right now, you guys have had a large hand in that. You know what I mean? There's a lot of things that are happening outside of windowcleaner.com and the Pro Window Cleaning Forum. There's a lot of things that's going on right now that would not be happening right now if it was not for what you guys are doing. Straight up.
Yeah,
there would not be a SqueegeeLife podcast if it was not for you guys. We talk shit on you guys for a year solid. Solid year. The first 100 episodes. I know you were. And that was what made me so... I was like, this fucking guy, man. I would tell the dudes before we record, I'm like, I know Chris is going to fucking watch this, man. He's going to fucking say something to me, and he's going to be fucking right, and it's going to piss me off. So good. You were never mean, though. I will say that. You were never nasty to me. I said nasty shit about you guys on the internet, and you were always so nice to me. I'm like, what a fucking prick. I can't get under this dude's skin. I'd tell Jennifer, I was like, this dude just won't bite, man. He's not gonna bite, man.
Isn't that great?
What an exercise.
To hurt you more by not hurting you.
It's the best. And now that I've gotten to know you, I'm like, yeah, I was never going to win that fight. That was because you weren't going to fight. You were just like, no, I'm just going to stand here and watch you yell, dude, because that's cool. Absolutely hilarious. Now, see, we went and got off on another tangent again. I don't even know what the fuck we were talking about.
Yeah. So anyway, it was like videos, community.
Yes.
Like,
I mean, yeah. Okay, keep going.
We were quickly doing the community thing and the video thing, and that was like sucking up all the time, and like we were not making any money. Like we made no money for years because like just pumping out videos. Like we were filming sometimes like 40 videos a day.
Wow.
Like product videos, pumping them up. There's this one Windsol video that somebody only about a year ago called us and said, hey, do you know this is on your channel? It was from like 15 years ago. And it was like an outtake where Alex was like filming like this Windsol CC 550 video. And he just like puts it down. He's like, fuck this thing, fuck this. I can't take any more takes today. Like just everything out. And like, we didn't even know. Like we just uploaded and sat there for 15 years and had millions of views. And no one ever said anything.
Isn't that magical?
Yeah.
I found some YouTube videos that I did years ago. Like when YouTube just... I was about to say, I felt weird because you weren't wearing Chris Lambrinides gray for this episode of, SqueegeeLife 1-on-1, you know what I mean? I was really, like, tripping. Now everything feels right in the universe. But, I found some, like, super cringy, man. I'm like, wow, dude, I was a total douche. Like, I'm a total dickhead. Now, mind you, you guys are never going to find those. Haha. I got rid of that shit. But, yeah. Isn't that weird?
Super weird.
That, there's little imprints everywhere that you can go back and be like, oh my God. Do you, like, I don't like it when people, like, were recording me 10 years ago and posted it on Facebook, and I was like, yeah, man, that's cool. And then they posted it again. I'm like, you are a dick for posting that, dude. You, like, I don't even know who that person is,
Yeah, changed.
Did you have... Now, there's been, and you, like I said, what you don't want to talk about, we don't have to talk about, but I got to keep it reals. And, this is a question that people have asked on plenty of occasions in the chat on the SqueegeeLife podcast is, was there any kickback? Was there, like you guys are too, like, I know you guys were brash, you guys weren't afraid to speak your mind. Was there kickback from the industry in general, as far as, you know what I mean? Like, was there a kickback to people like, fuck these guys? Who the fuck do these kids think they are?
Dude, Sorbo only started letting us sell his stuff 3 years ago.
Oh, really?
We were coming from buying Sorbo for 13 years direct. The first 2 years in business, Ettore wouldn't sell to us. I had to make a fake hardware store name and pretend like we were a hardware store to get product shipped to us.
Oh
And
my.
like a lot of it had to do with like when we started. This went on for like 10 years, but Racing Steam really sabotaged us. Like they were like the biggest at that time, and they were like in with all the vendors. And when someone new tried to come in like us, not that a lot of people did that, like they literally went and they talked to all the big manufacturers and said, you can't just like let these internet guys come in here, these internet weirdos. They don't have a storefront that you can go in like we do. We have to protect your product line. So what you should do is make them buy their stuff through us. So all these vendors, when we first started getting set up, were like, no, you have to buy through them. And it took us like a long time to break free of that. And it didn't help that we were like cursing all over the internet and just like, beating ourselves and like just being wild. Like we had this podcast for, I don't know, like 25 episodes where we would just get like super drunk and curse a lot. And like they would use that against us. And I knew that's what was coming. You know what I mean? Like I knew that like people just being real was what was going to come to the internet. But back then, it was all like a lot of like phoniness, like phony professionalism.
Right.
And I was like, man, don't you see how fake this is? These guys are faking. They are wearing khaki pants. They are faking. That's being real.
They're wearing khaki pants. I definitely, you know, because, you know, I come from the construction industry, and there was even on a construction site, you know, especially building a home, there's always a hierarchy, you know what I mean, of guys that, you know, especially like, you know, you're the new guy, so the guy that's been here the longest he's the one that's gonna get all the extra work and all the overtime, and you're gonna be like the shit job guy, you know what I mean, like you get this, be happy. So I've often wondered, you know, and I now that you mentioned the Sorbo thing, you're right about. Now that I don't ever remember, not being there, but you're right, it wasn't there for a long time, was it? Jeez.
Yeah, they had like they had a very tight control over the window cleaning industry because they've been around for 120 years, and it just took us 10 years to break their control.
Right. And now I'm sure you've got a good relationship with Mr. Sorbo. He's a good guy.
That. Yeah. Trade show booths were right next to each other.
Nice. He's a guy. He's such a nice guy. He's such a nice guy. I mean, you wouldn't believe how humble and nice a dude can be. You know, it's the same way with you. You know what I mean? You don't have to. You guys don't, and you especially, you don't have to be gracious to anyone. You could just be a prick and be whatever about things, but you're not. You know what I mean? You're in tuned with your audience. I think Sorbo is who he's kind of in tune with his audience. You know what I mean? It's like, you know, you get it. You know what I mean? That's rare. Especially in our industry, because the industry giants don't give a shit about what we think. You know, they're just going to do, this is what we do. You don't like it, don't buy it. You know what I mean? And they have that power. They have that stroke. I'm not going to mention who, but, you know, large companies, you know what I mean? You know, they don't care.
Yeah, I mean, well, you got you remember, window cleaning, professional window cleaning is so small. Like, there's probably absolute max, 100K window cleaning companies in the United States, max. Like, that's even probably a stretch. And they make so much money in, floor care and this machine and that machine. Right. That, you know.
Window cleaning is just a piece of pie in the whole janitorial industry.
It's an add-on. That's not necessary.
Yeah, it's not necessary. And I don't think a lot of people realize that. You know what I mean? At least guys like me that are on the glass, I don't, you know, sometimes man, why does this thing suck so bad? You know what I mean? They don't care that it sucks so bad. You know what I mean? They don't, you know, this is what we've designed. We feel like, our engineers feel like this is the best possible solution to your issue. You know, it doesn't mean that it's right. But as far as on the glass to the tool, you're probably not going to see a lot of that out of the larger companies.
No, the companies get larger, add these layers of people
Right.
that really never had anything to do with window cleaning and don't really understand it, and they're just like looking at spreadsheets.
Right. 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 Now, do you feel yourself as your company grows, and I'm not saying you're on the level size wise as a company like Unger or Ettore or IPC for that matter, or Mormon, or whatever the case may be, whatever these large companies are, do you like actively try to stop yourself from turning into that kind of thing that you didn't like, or do you feel like that's just natural and eventually everyone gets to that point where it's all spreadsheets?
I don't know. I don't really give it that much thought. Like I'm not trying to have like wild growth here,
right.
Because I feel like that's kind of dangerous.
Uh-huh.
You get ahead of yourself too fast. So, we just try to have a nice even 20% growth every year, and just keep
let the chips fall where they may.
Yeah,
that's cool, man.
Things that add value. I feel like if we're always adding value to the window cleaning community, we'll eventually be all right. Mm-hmm. We'll always be right.
Right. That's cool, man. What else? There's something else I kind of wanted to ask about. That kind of folds in with that is, and we've almost skipped over it, but I don't want to get too far ahead. But like the activity with the community. There's not very many. I mean, now I see people, of course, there's more, they're window cleaning, they're kind of gearing themselves more towards the internet and social media. Did that just happen naturally with you guys as far as the interaction with the community, having some influencers that are, part of the dealio,
Well, we've been in window cleaning so long, we, for a very long time doing this, just still considered ourselves window cleaners,
Mm-hmm.
even though, we weren't on the glass as much or at all anymore, just kind of who we were,
mm-hmm.
kind of same thing with skateboarding. I always consider myself a skateboarder,
mm-hmm.
even if I don't get out there and do it as much as I did anymore.
Right.
It's kind of in you.
Right.
So it was always just kind of natural for us to hop in the communities and shoot the shit with the people and everyone talks on the same level. Because I felt like it was a thing when we started this that I noticed everybody, anybody that was involved in supplying or manufacturing talked down to the window cleaner, from this pedestal of whatever they say was going to be the most important. And I just saw that and was like, that is so dumb. Because it's probably actually the reverse. The window cleaners know way more about what's going on. Mm-hmm. So it would be so stupid to ever talk to anybody like that when, we consider ourselves like them and everyone talks at the same level.
Yeah, because, I mean, it's really hard to relate to that time on the glass. If you're just some dude that's got a business degree and never really done it or understand what's going on, and you at least don't try to learn about what's going on, it's going to be really hard sell. It's going to be a hard sell. You
have no clue what really goes on.
Yeah. I'm trying to get back on track here after we were so rudely interrupted by Jennifer and her friends.
No, that's cool. Keep it in.
I'm most likely going to. It's too raw not to.
Yeah.
But I don't even know what we were talking about, but I will say that the social media thing, I feel like you guys, I don't know if that was conscious or if it just kind of happened, but the attention that you guys paid to social media and that you continue to do, your advertisements and your, I'm pretty sure you have someone on staff that take care of all of things of that nature. I think that's super smart, and I feel like it's fair to say that a lot of people in the industry were not that savvy. They did not have the foresight that you guys had. And do you think that's an age thing? Do you guys think you were just more hip to what was going to happen, or did you just like, well, I kind of see things are going this way, so we need to kind of focus on this a little?
Well, at its core, it was a necessity thing because
Okay.
social media is free, So like we could just get on there and post and talk all day, where we couldn't afford to print a catalog, we couldn't afford to do direct mail, we couldn't afford to have salespeople and like stuff. So like at its core, it was about frugality and just like trying to survive and grow. But then like, so 2007 is when the iPhone came out, and once that came out, like we came out in 2007 too, but like once like the iPhone 2 came out and they started allowing apps and stuff, I was like, look at how everyone's so glued to these things. This is going to be a thing, And we just like leaned on it really.
Dude, I never in a million years, like I never ever would have thought that this is what it was going to turn into. Never. I think it wasn't until I moved in here and I'd been, an internet gamer. I'd been on YouTube. I've done all of the things, but never in a million years did I think I would find on Facebook other window cleaners in a group together. Never.
It's crazy.
See, I was unawares of the window cleaning forums. I had no part in that. I mean, if I had known about that, people would hate me. Because I was really good on the message boards, you know what I mean? I was really good at typing things, you know what I mean?
That's why we started our own.
I'm a good typer. So, I really know how to do things with words, I'm really good at that. So, I never would have seen this coming. And now that you say that, it doesn't make sense because it's essentially you're promoting yourself for free as long as it gets into the right hands and you got good stuff out there. You know what I mean? That guy's more apt to share that and tell his other buddy, like, hey man, look at these guys over here doing this, whatever. There wasn't a lot of that going on, huh?
It was definitely an age thing as well. Like not as much as that, but that played into it. Us being more in the age group. That would be open to that type of thing than our competitors. And now, fortunately, we have people working here that are just way better than us and know all
right,
about
of course.
Stuff.
Right. My son is light years, even though, like I said, it's not like I grew up completely unawares of the internet, but like AOL and instant messaging and, like online gaming and all that stuff kind of happened when I was young. And then social media, MySpace, you know what I mean? Like, I really miss my glittery backgrounds. I gotta say that. It would be really cool if I could share my favorite song with people when they clicked on my profile. You can't do that anymore. That's super lame. Could you imagine how cool my MySpace wall would be right now, Squeegee? Could you imagine how dope that would be right now?
Wild. Probably like a lot of moving things.
Dude, a bunch of squiggly and doodahs and all of the things. I would have all of the things on there. But,
you wouldn't tell them.
Dude, I never in a million years would have thought that it would be this. This. I think social media has changed us as a species and not for the better.
No.
I think
you can see the attention span shortening and shortening and shortening. Like,
yes.
Look at the platforms that are popular. Okay, now TikTok's super popular. That's like the ultimate in no attention span.
Right. I still share videos to you. I don't know if you know that or not.
I still watch them.
Oh, do you? I stopped sharing.
Let's watch them.
What's that?
I don't have the app installed anymore, but I can watch them.
Okay.
It'll let me watch one in the browser, then I got to refresh the browser.
Okay. Well, I've gotten to the point now where I only show you the ones I think are super cool. Because I know you're not on there watching them like we used to. Because you can go fall down a hole. It's almost as if YouTube almost has kind of taken a back seat to TikTok. Like, there are more creators on TikTok now than there are on YouTube, you know what I mean? I think me and Steve-O and those dudes over the pond might be the only few dudes that are still doing window cleaning on YouTube. I don't plan ever on stopping because I prefer a longer format. You know what I mean? That's just me as a person. I don't mind the TikTok videos, but like Master Squeegee, for instance. Do you know who I'm talking about?
No.
I'm sure his Nicholas. I can't remember his last name. It'll come to me while we're doing this. I'm sure you know the name once I said it, but on TikTok, I mean, he's got like 40, 50 different angles. And these little like 1 minute videos. I'm like, this dude is, what in the fuck is this guy doing? You know what I mean? Are you cleaning 2 windows a day? But there's so much that goes into it. I respect the shit out of it. I mean, it's like, but that's not good, right? I'm not saying that his content's not. The content's amazing, but it can't, our attention spans being that short can't be that good, can it?
No, I think it's horrible. I think focus is a superpower.
Yeah, and, dude.
Like, the more you can focus on something, the better. And I think, I totally get the appeal of all the short-term stuff, and I'm not like, or short like stuff. I'm not knocking it, but I think eventually, I don't want to say it'll die out, but YouTube isn't going anywhere because long-form content is important for like real, true learning and like digesting and like really absorbing a topic, and you're not going to really get that in short form. And I think like that stuff too on TikTok, it's like, once it's gone, it's gone. You're not really going back in time too much.
Right.
Whereas if you look at like the analytics on our YouTube channel, videos we filmed 10 years ago could get the same amount of views as something new. So there's like evergreen topics.
Right. I think, you're not going to have dudes go back and try to find that one, my favorite Steve-O TikTok. They're gonna go to Steve-O's channel and they're gonna find, I really like this video that Steve-O did about whatever the case may be. You know what I mean? That's kind of like where I think I think social media at times maybe people their attention spans are so small that maybe that could be a detriment. But I feel like that is just in general, like people, I find that people like out in the world, their attention spans, they're like, people are changing, you know what I mean? And if you don't, I mean, some of that's good, especially like you got to be mindful of that as an advertiser, especially for what you do. So I get it, but man, it's scary how weird people have become. People are really weird now. You know what I mean?
So sometimes when I think that, I'm like, half it's like, yeah, people are weird, and then the other half's like, man, you're just getting old. They were saying that about you when you were 20.
Yeah, but I mean, there is such thing as an echo chamber. I mean, the social media will guide you into an echo chamber, and you won't realize that everyone around you saying yes. You know what I mean? Until it's too late. They're like, oh man, I'm in all the, like I didn't really realize it at first as an older guy in my 40s. And then I stopped one day and I was like, wait a minute, man, like every single one of these videos is some dude talking about his constitutional rights to a cop. You know what I mean? Like, what am I doing? You know what I'm saying? Like, what kind of life am I living? You know what I mean? I'm buying guns and I've got American flags hanging everywhere. If buy American, I don't, you know what I mean? I was going crazy. I didn't realize it.
What it knows you want to see, what you're looking at, what you're
hovering. So what you guys have done is you guys have trapped, you like typed into the matrix, and now WCR is everywhere. So now we're all just sheep.
Well, hope it's a good offer for everybody.
I know there's a lot of people that think that, but you guys are just, I mean, it would be different if you guys weren't so helpful. You guys give back too. I mean, you guys are always doing a giveaway of something. So it's not one-sided, you know what I mean? Yeah.
Well, I mean, like, people that say we're everywhere, like, we try to be everywhere. But, like, if you go to our website, you're going to get retargeted, and you'll see it on YouTube, you'll see it on Facebook, so you'll see our ads. That's right. Kind of the nature of an internet business these days.
Do you approach that criticism and stuff like that as to just like, do you see, like, I'm doing something right if these guys at least there's something to criticize? I mean,
turn it up.
Yeah.
I mean, be more. Spread the net.
Right. Yeah. Well, just thank you for the algorithm, sir. You guys was the customer service thing? I mean, where did that? I mean, your guys' customer service is really, really good, man. I mean, I'm not just saying that; it actually really is really good. Who was like? Is that like a group effort that you're like, we got to make sure that we're always on top of this, or is it like one person's like, dude, we got to make sure we take care of this, man?
Just from like day one, we just wanted to treat people like we'd want to be treated. And now with the internet age, it's so easy to get dicked around, and we just never want that. Like, there's a problem, no problem, just fix it. Something got lost in shipping, no problem, just send another one. Don't like it, no problem, just return it. Like, and you know, because the people we're selling to, most likely, you know, they will have to buy stuff a couple times a year. So we really provide an amazing experience. Maybe it's so good that they'll want to come back for those subsequent orders because they felt like we cared. And we actually do care.
Well, I mean, I know you guys do. If you guys didn't care, you guys wouldn't do some of the things that you guys do for. I mean, you guys are pretty generous to window cleaners. They're, you know, I've seen it myself, the generosity from you guys. My favorite is when dudes are like, "Oh, they're just giving that shit away so people buy stuff from them." Well, yeah. Actually, you know, you hit the nail right on the head, dude. You know what I mean? It's not cloak and dagger, man. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's why they do it, dumbass. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
why are? I mean, it's again, you're not one of those people that's gonna, you know, whack them over the head when they say that. You're just gonna, you know, keep on moving about your day. But that's just always irked me. It's just like, well, yeah, of course, man. Like, do you go into, like, in your day-to-day business, like, running it, are you going out there to just be like, are you not trying to sell people, guy? I mean, that's what we do, is sell people. And it seems like, you know, when you're being sold to, you want to be a critic of being sold to. I mean, you guys can't be, I mean, shit, you give shit away all the time. You know what I mean? Like, everyone has a chance. You know what I mean? Everyone has a chance. You could go on and win a water-fed pole system for buying a fucking towel. I mean, it's literally that. You know, it's not, you know, it's not like, oh, you got to spend at least $200 with us or $1,000 to get you $1,500. You know, it's not, that's not what you guys are doing. So, yeah. I feel like that's fair. You guys, in my opinion, giving back to the community.
We gave away $300K worth of stuff in 2022.
Wow.
That's seems like a pretty good number, and a lot of people.
Yeah.
When we give the stuff away, like, I really always like to hear.
It's about what I made last year. Dude, just like, Jesus Christ.
I really I'm always happy to hear.
That was before taxes, by the way, guys.
It goes to somebody that actually uses it, not somebody that already has one.
Right. That's cool, man. And I mean, it's not the same guy winning every time, so it's not like a plant, you know, this P.O. box that ships it back to, you know what I mean? Like, hey, it's Jim Bob over here, won again. Yeah, great. I mean, it's like actual dudes.
Yeah, it's random.org we use to pick it, and then we put their pictures for the bigger ones on our contest page. So
that's cool, man.
We're actually going to try to start doing some like interviews with them, like, you know, just like little follow-ups, like see if they use the equipment and stuff.
Dude, that's super smart. Super smart. I tried to do that with guys with SqueegeeLife gear. Get them, hey man, can you send me like a 20-second video? Fucking, yeah, I can't even get Mark to shoot me a 20-second video. You know what I mean? Like, come on, guys. I mean, you can't help me out just like a little bit. You know what I mean? You know, but that would be cool, man.
Yeah,
that would be cool. Yeah. I wish. Go ahead.
Yeah. Fortunately, I have a lot of people here that are smarter than me that come up with these ideas, because that wasn't my idea.
No, it's good to have a good supporting cast. I mean, it seems like you guys got some good people working there too. I think but I think that all derives, anything good, it usually trickles downhill. So, you know, you guys are good people. So I feel like it's just automatic. You're gonna find good people. The universe is gonna send you good people. Usually pretty good vibes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we're fortunate to have really great people. We have no turnover. Like, nobody quits. Maybe once a year somebody does, but for the most part, it's like the same people that have been here, and it's.
I've been trying to get Jessica to come on the podcast. She's been resistant. She finally replied to one of my comments. So that's. Really? I feel like I'm getting somewhere. I feel like we're beating her down. You know what I mean? Slowly but surely. Maybe one of these days, because she's like one of your longest tenured employees, correct?
Oh yeah, she's been here basically since the beginning.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I thought that'd be cool. You know what I mean? It's still window cleaning, but, you know, not really. You know what I mean? It'd be cool to, you know. She's resistant. She said she would have her people get a hold of my people.
Okay.
Yeah. I was like, all right, girl, I'll see you.
I'll follow up with that.
Right? Yeah. No pressure. I'm. I just. I like to mess with, because I like to interact with people. If I see someone's TikTok or Instagram post or Facebook post, and it's got like a share, and then like 6 likes. I like to use my audience, however small it may be. Like, I will share it to the SqueegeeLife page. I will comment and heart, just so get the ball rolling. You know what I mean? Because that's really what social media is for. You got to depend on each other. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I need give me your like and a share, guys. And what the fuck? You know what I mean? That's why you're putting it out there. Don't be pricks. Don't skip over it just to skip over it, to be spiteful. I feel like there's no way you're not seeing this. You know what I mean? I know it's in your For You bastards.
Yeah, give me the dopamine. Give me the like.
I need the like, man. I need your guys' acceptance so I can move forward with my day in a good way. If you guys don't give me that acceptance, I am not going to have a good day. That's the way I live my life. I live my life one like at a time. And if you thumbs down me, I might as well just, that's it. Kill myself.
Isn't that weird? That's where we're at now, though? It's chasing likes on this little glass rectangle.
You know what's? I will say this, man, and I know that people are going to be like, this interview. I don't care, guys. You're getting it's raw. My son is completely oblivious. Oblivious.
To what?
Social media. Oblivious.
That's great.
Completely oblivious. He couldn't be deeper in the YouTube matrix, but Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, oblivious.
Snapchat, he has no interest in any of that?
Nothing.
That's fantastic.
Yep. 11 years old, doesn't have a cell phone.
That's great.
Yeah. I mean, it gets a little weird sometimes, because you're like, I wish I had that tether on him so I could call him. You know what I mean? Or maybe he might need me because the Russians are bombing us. You know what I mean? Right. And I might need to get to him. You know what I mean? But, I try to resist the temptation, because I feel like as long as I can go without that happening, I think he's going to be better for it.
100%.
Don't you think?
100%.
In this day and age,
keep him away as long as possible.
Yeah.
My 9-year-old daughter, about 2 months ago, said, "I want a phone." "What do you want a phone for?" She's like, "I want to listen to music on the bus." I was like, "Mom, get her a Discman."
Right.
I don't want a Discman. Like, "What do you really want the phone for?" She's like, "I don't know. I'm just bored on the bus."
Right.
She can't really even articulate like what she would do with it. She has this boredom hole and sees other people doing it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, keep that away as long as possible.
Yeah. Well, see, my son doesn't ride the bus home from school. We live like maybe a quarter mile from the school, so we just pick him up. You know what I mean? It's just like, it's useless having him ride the bus.
Can he walk? Is there like a walking route?
I mean, eventually we'll let him walk, Chris. I mean, why are you being so pushy?
Quarter mile,
Why are you being so pushy, man? He's my baby. Smack you. We are super resistant. Like, when it comes to my son, which most likely will affect him in his later adult years, I wouldn't say coddle him, but we, as a group, as a whole, not just me and my wife, but his sisters too, are like, you're right. That's a path you don't walk down with any of us. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
He could probably walk to school. You know what I mean? I mean, he could do it. He's got the mental capacity. He's not a goof. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But as far as us letting him do that, probably not. Yeah.
No, I get it. Like, I find myself, like, all the time, like, being overprotective of my daughters. And I'm thinking, like, man, when I was my daughter's age, I had already dropped out of high school and was just doing whatever I want all day.
Right? Yeah.
I hurt go anywhere. Yeah. What is that going to do to her? Like, because I was like underprotected. She's like overprotected. So.
Right. I was both. I think my grandparents were really coddled me. I spent a lot of time by myself up until like 13, 14 years old. I was with two like Depression era grandparents who were raising me in this neighborhood, and there was only like all my cousins were gone. So, my formative teenage years, like the beginning of my teenage years, were spent primarily by myself. You know what I mean? Like I had myself for entertainment. You know, or my grandfather. You know what I mean? So life was weird for me growing up. You know what I mean? So it's cool to see that my daughters have that interaction with each other. You know, when they were growing up, they had like a sounding board for their bullshit. Yeah. My sounding board was a 70-year-old man at the time. You know what I mean? Like, you know, it's like, hey, Grandpa, what do you think about this? I don't know. Go pick that shit up and put it over there. You know? I ain't got time for that shit. Go mow the lawn. You know what I mean? Grandpa, I fell and I scraped my neck. Rub it with a rock. Rub some dirt on it. Get the fuck out of my face. You know what I mean? I turned out okay, I feel like. I'm well adjusted. You know, well adjusted to the realities of the world. You know what I mean? I have a pantry. I have a pantry with things inside of it that you can eat. Nice. Cans of things, canned things. You know what I mean? I'm prepared, sir. You know, there's nothing wrong with that, right? I mean, I don't think many people nowadays really. I think a lot of people get away from the old ways of doing things. You know what I mean? Like, I find myself doing things like when I was younger, like I would never in a million years throw away a milk jug. How dare you? We're going to rinse that out and use that as a water bottle, sir. You know We're going to repurpose that. Yeah. You know, my grandparents kept everything. And Jennifer's like, well, you do the same thing. She goes, but it's cardboard boxes and I don't get it. She gets angry. Like you could see it on her face. If you bring up cardboard
boxes,
Chris, I don't know. Like you guys, like I'll get something from WCR. The box will sit around for way longer than it needs to. She's like, "What do you need this box for?" I'm like, "I don't know."
You need a spot. You gotta.
I have a spot.
Cardboard. Throw that shit outside.
I have a spot. That's the problem. I can't seem to let go of a cardboard box. It stays around way past its lifetime. It should go somewhere, and it doesn't. You know, I might need it for something. You know what I mean?
Maybe. Probably not, though.
I mean, they all get thrown in the trash or burnt, but it's just the timeliness of that.
Man,
maybe I should step that up.
Build up because you got Amazon boxes and.
No, we don't do Amazon.
No Amazon. Oh, that's
We're not Amazoners. Good. I know that's like a lot of like getting on the internet and buying things is probably something. I mean, that's how you make a living right now. You know what I mean? I feel like maybe the going to the store and buying stuff that's going to end up like we don't have any malls anymore. How cool was the mall when you were growing up?
Super cool.
And now there's not really such a thing. You know what I mean? There's not really a mall anymore. I know the mall here in our town is. Huh?
Does there need to be a mall though?
I guess necessarily it doesn't need to be here, but socially it probably should.
Yeah, I guess. As a kid, the mall is kind of cool.
To be around people, I mean...
I hate going anywhere. I don't like...
Yeah, okay.
Dude, right. I haven't been in a store in the longest time.
Really?
Really.
Why?
I don't want to go in. I don't need anything. I'm fine.
You are a recluse. I mean, not in a bad way. You just, you're not a fan. Not a fan.
It's just all about like efficiency for me. Like,
okay,
it's like not efficient, like
the store is not efficient.
No way, the store is totally not efficient. You got to park, you got to go in, you're gonna see somebody you know, you got to chit chat, you got to look for stuff. They moved what aisle it's in. And you're walking down here, and then there's 10 people at the.
Then you're gonna run into somebody else in that aisle, and you don't want to talk to them either. Are you anti-social, Chris? By nature or as you get older?
It's certain. I don't know. I feel better at socializing.
We're breaking down the walls, man.
Not intentionally.
Not intentionally. I'm the same way. I'm. You would think that someone like me, as boisterous and as loud as I am, I'd be more apt to being a social person. I am not either. Like, I have people that I socialize with, but if you are not graced with my presence in that, like, if you're not in that circle of people that I like to speak to on a regular basis, then you're probably not going to hear much from me.
Mm-hmm. Did you ever hear that expression? If it's not a hell yeah, it's a hell no.
Right.
Have you heard that? Like,
Yes.
my wife is so sick to death of that because she's like, "You want to go over here on the weekend?" I was like, "Well, it's not a hell yeah, so."
That is me to a T. Like my wife is a social butterfly. Jennifer is a social butterfly. She loves the social interaction. And I used to be that way, and our roles have reversed. Like, I get upset with her before she, like, hey, why don't you ask me before you say we're going to my dad's house to have dinner? Like, what's wrong with you? She's like, What do you mean? Well, my dad just told me that we got to go over to his house for dinner. She's like, well, yeah. I'm like, man, dude, she's like, what are you going to do? I mean, what are you going to do? Make a YouTube video? What are you going to do? Like, edit something? What are you going to... I'm like, watch TV? I'm like, well, you're probably right, but still, I would like to know. I get myself mentally prepared to, like, talk to people.
Right. Dude, I say the same thing all the time. Yeah, my wife is the same thing. Same way. Signing me up for everything all the time. And I'm just like, man, I just, sometimes just want to come home and just sit there and, like, actually do nothing and not feel like I have to be on,
But once you're in the situation, you're good. Right. I'm the same way. Once I'm in the situation, I mean, you might get a little grumbling out of me. I might walk in and like, you know what I mean? And then, but after about 10 minutes, I'm like, all right, I'll be nice to you guys now. Yeah.
Same deal.
Do you, everyone knows that you're super happy with, I guess, the way things are going. I mean, you seem to be pretty content with how things are going for you guys right now. Do you foresee any major changes coming in the industry? Like, do you see, like, well, this may be happening, this may be... Do you see any trends that people should maybe be out on the lookout? I mean, because, to be quite honest with you, it's like from a distributor standpoint, you guys really have your pulse on... Like, you have your finger on the pulse, so you know what's trending, what's not necessarily in a video sense, but like, like industry wise, do you see anything that's going to be like blow people's socks off eventually, or does you just see kind of even keel?
Yeah, no, I see like the actual supplies themselves and stuff like that. Not really. I don't imagine there's going to be too much innovation in the actual supplies. Maybe someone will like bend a corner on something. You know what I mean? Make something.
Yeah. Change the shape, man.
I think there'll probably be more advancements on speed of delivery time because everyone's so Amazonified and they want things next day. So there'll be likely some things happening there.
I will say this. If you want something on Amazon the next day, drive to the fucking store and buy it, you fucking retards. I don't want to go in the store. Yeah. There's going to be people in there. Just walk in like a man. Go straight in there for what you want. Come straight back out. Somebody fucking looks at you and say, hey, Chris, I remember you. Fuck off. I'm going home. And keep walking. Like I do.
I looked at like the last 5 things I bought on Amazon. They probably are like some vitamins or something. I bet you I couldn't even get those around here.
Oh, whatever. I mean, well, maybe. I'll give you that. You probably bought some kind of special space vitamins or some shit like that. Infused with Fraggle Rock crystals or some shit like that. So you're probably right about that.
Other changes. Yeah. So other things like industry shifting, what I'm seeing, though, is I'm seeing more and more younger guys get into the business that are more serious about making it like a business as opposed to traditionally like just, a couple guys working together in a truck.
Right.
Like I got that window cleaning job because like I didn't really have any like other options. I had nothing going on, and that's why a lot of people get into window cleaning. Mm-hmm. But I feel like there's more content being put out there that shows that you can make money doing this. So you'll see some more of those type of people come in.
Well, maybe and the reason why you're seeing that now, because I really feel like, again, like I would have never in a million years been on the internet talking about window cleaning. I would have like, I don't want these fucking people to see what I'm cleaning, and this guy's gonna try to take it from me. You know what I mean? I don't want this guy to know. But now people are more accepting of. I feel like there's an old. This is like the theme of this episode: the old guard, the old man's club. The inner circle, the I. You know what I mean? It's always been there, and I feel like that's changed quite a bit. You guys have had like a large role in that. I feel like you may not want to, but I feel like you guys have. It's made it more socially acceptable to talk about, because a lot of guys, the old school guys, I keep scratch paper and I charge them $1 and I sit it on the counter. You know, there's still that out there, but it's totally more now socially acceptable to talk about that kind of stuff. So thanks for the soap wars. What would you charge for this? I really appreciate that, Chris. I love those questions. Thank you.
Yeah, man. The the internet is the great leveler, dude. You know, it's the great equalizer. Like,
right.
You just need your Wi-Fi money. Get your Wi-Fi money, and then you can do something.
My Wi-Fi cash. That's all I need.
Yeah.
I do a couple of windows for Wi-Fi cash, and that's that's normally how I keep things. You know.
Wi-Fi money is the new beer money.
Right. Do you see yourself retiring?
Never, ever, ever.
No.
I can't.
Is that because? Go ahead.
Like, this isn't just like my job, it's like my hobby too. So like on the weekend I work on it just for fun.
I as much as we're laughing about that, that's probably true. That's what's really weird about it.
Yeah, no, it is true.
Have you always been that way, or is this something just like over the years that's happened? Have you always been the type of like just can't set it down? Even all county window cleaning, was that because you said you retired, like mentally you were tired of dealing with it, all the bullshit. Is that self-imposed?
Yeah, totally. Like with window cleaning, the actual like window cleaning company, like I didn't even want to look at it when I left. But this, like, it's different because there's all these different facets and angles, and you can log on and connect from anywhere and look at this and tweak that and adjust this. So there's like constant things that can be done, and I'm still at a point where I just like love it, And
that's cool, man.
I need my calendar to be filled up with things to do, or I'll get into trouble. You know what I mean? Right. Like, free time is not good. Like, it'll start with me just like, oh man, I'm just gonna like start eating real crappy and doing all this other stuff, and you know what I mean. I start to spiral if I don't have things going on.
I guess. Dude, that's pretty. You could kind of see the way the company runs and the things that you guys do. You can kind of see that. You know what I mean? You can see that you guys, it's not only a business for you, it's like something you enjoy. You can see the passion in it. You know what I mean? It's not like just thrown together. It's thought out.
Actually,
the connectivity on the website is really good. The approach from staff when they answer the phone is, it's just all of that kind of, it just all together. It just comes together. You could see it. You know what I mean? I feel like people that, it's, I'm not saying call Chris, because Chris doesn't want to talk to you about things, about life. You know what I mean? He doesn't, he clearly wants to order off of Amazon and play with his website on his phone. You know what I mean? But it's good to support businesses like that, because, that helps. That's going to help out the next guy. You know what I mean? The next guy that sees the way that you're doing it he's gonna run his window cleaning company or his landscaping business like that. That's good. That's a good example, I guess is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's a really good example to follow. You guys do pretty good, man.
Thank you. I buy my beef jerky local. I'll go to the beef jerky store because it's like so good.
If there was a way for them to drop ship that from the store, you would do it.
I actually don't mind stopping there because I can check out the new flavors.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not. I much prefer. I kind of like repel technology, like just like organically. Like I don't get along with technology. My computer, this whole time we've been doing this, has been acting absolutely fucking ridiculous the whole time.
You haven't fixed that yet?
I fixed it. I thought I fixed it, and apparently I didn't fix it. Maybe it's mine, and it's a piece of shit. Let's just move on. Why you got to bring it up for? Why you got to now? I'm gonna obsess over that now. I didn't do it right. I know I didn't do it right.
You said, "What's the problem?" I diagnosed it. I provided instructions on how to resolve it.
Yeah. You tried so hard to help me out. I even had to have Jennifer like go through and read everything. So it's like, am I doing this right? You know what I mean?
Did you do it?
Yeah. It's wonky still. I don't know, man. I feel like, maybe my internet's or somebody's like got a Trojan horse in there or something. You know what I mean?
Gremlin.
Yeah, I got a gremlin inside my PC. My way of fixing things is if it doesn't operate to its optimum, just hit it with a fucking hammer.
Yeah.
That's how I used to fix my computer back in the day. I just kick it.
Dude, that's how, like, you could fix a Nintendo back in the day. Jam a cartridge on top.
Yeah. And, it doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way at all. You can't do that to electronics. It's not good.
No.
You got to have a soft touch. You tried to show me the soft touch. It didn't work out for me. You know what I mean?
I'm sorry.
It's okay, buddy.
Sorry.
You tried. You tried to teach an old dog new tricks, and sometimes it just doesn't work.
I'm sure there was some.
Oh, well.
And you know what? It doesn't matter, so...
It doesn't really matter, does it? I like to come full circle every episode with it doesn't matter. None of this matters. This fucking's terrible. Yeah.
Yeah, man, humans have been at this for a while, and they're not even remembered.
So do you find yourself in your free time, are you like a not like as much knowledge as possible? Like, do you like to read, to listen to things?
Yeah, I definitely consume at least one book every week. So that's where, but like I'm doing it like audiobook wise. So like I can kill an 8-hour audiobook just by like listening to it in the shower and on my drive to work back and forth.
I'm pretty good at that too.
Yeah.
Like I buy something to listen to and then I'm like, oh, this will last me a couple days. And then it doesn't. Like shit.
Pretty quickly, yeah. So
Can you take a book report afterwards? Can you write a book report afterwards?
With the help of ChatGPT, yeah.
Oh, that's not. See, listen, that's cheating. That's cheating.
It depends. Like sometimes I'll like get a book and I like it so much and I'll listen to it like 2 or 3 times in a row, like something nonfiction. So I probably could write a report, yeah, or give it all.
I try to retain as much as possible, but it's difficult.
Did you see the pole shift video from the Y-Files?
Yeah, of course I did, Chris. You know what I mean? Like, dude, how is that so not crazy?
I just saw an article yesterday that like, oh my god, the pole is like moving faster, like that in a day. 6 days, everything's gone. Well, and that's some Bible level shit because in 6 days on the 7th day it rested. And
well, I don't know if
it happened over and over.
I don't know if that. I watched the Y-Files, but I also watched a couple rebuttal videos to that. I liked it.
What's the rebuttal?
No, they're not strong rebuttals. It's not like the guy's like, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about. But there are some things that about that crust displacement. There is some physics that was left out. You know what I mean? Like,
I'm sure. And he always kind of rebuts himself at the end.
But the actual switch of the poles. Oh, that's totally. Fuck. It's kind of hard to dismiss that. You know what I mean?
Don't you see Jimmy from Bright Insight with the other dude on Rogan?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. They're scary dudes, though. All these dudes are scary. Like, I don't like. Let's not talk about that stuff. But how can you not know that there's? Is it hard to believe first that there's no other life in the solar system besides our own? That's absolutely absurd to think that we're the only ones.
Of course.
2, it's absolutely absurd to think that we are the highest evolution of man that's lived on this planet. That's total bullshit. It's absurd. There's evidence to show that. There are some things that are built to right like thousands of years ago that we couldn't do right now. Especially with the level of thought and care that they did it. It just doesn't
make sense. You ever hear that guy, Matthias DeStefano?
No.
You should check him out. He's pretty interesting. He's like, he's been on the Aubrey Marcus podcast a few times. Mm-hmm. He's basically a dude that says that he remembers all his previous lives. And some of the stories he tells are so fucking wild. And like you could just tell when somebody's like being unauthentic. Uh-huh. Like if this guy did not remember his previous lives, he definitely thinks he did. Right. You know what I mean?
Of
like
course.
He's not lying.
Right.
Like, there's no, you can tell he's not lying. You check him out. It's pretty interesting. He's like, oh yeah, I was there when we built the pyramids, and this is how we did it with sound levitation and like.
That's what I was gonna say. The sound.
Put our clock together and cut the rocks with water and.
Have you ever seen that? I don't know if you don't watch a lot of TikToks, but it may have been shared to you. But have you ever seen that dude lift a rock off the ground with one of those fucking oboes or whatever that thing is that they use in Australia? No. What is that thing? Shit. Didgeridoo. He lifts a rock off the ground with that thing.
How big?
I don't know. It's about that big.
Really?
Yeah, dude. Sound waves. I'll find it and share it to you. I thought I did share it to you.
Maybe. I've seen sound wave things with like, I don't know, they were maybe more like pebbles though. They were like maybe like QP looks like.
Right.
Yeah, like that size, and it's just kind of like floating in this chamber of sound.
I think that's the way they did it.
Sound, man.
I think the technology wasn't so much brass and copper and electrical. It was more organic. You know what I mean? I think that makes more sense to me.
He says like we're just like, he said we couldn't even do that now. Like even if you got like 10,000 of us together to like all focus on like having this puddle of water cut this rock, like we just can't do it because we're just tuned into this different consciousness now and
we're
back
a different frequency.
Yeah, like a whole different thing that we were on where we could all just put our minds together and fucking move shit.
I think maybe what's happened is that we as a species are probably getting more in tuned electrically than we probably were before. You know what I'm saying? So like the universe is just going that way. That's just what's happening. And then it's going to wipe it all out. It's coming. The eraser's coming. It's coming. Go right now after you guys are... First of all, I want to thank you for doing this. I know it's been all over the place, but I really appreciate you coming on. I really appreciate everything that you do for the SqueegeeLife podcast and everything. You're an awesome dude. But
thank you. I appreciate you greatly.
Crust displacement is coming. That's it. It's over, dudes. It's over, dudes. As soon as you get off of here, go watch 2012. You'll see what we're talking about. That's what's getting ready to happen. It's the end of the world, dude.